Good day, everybody. Good day. Welcome back here to Frozen Valley Acres. Today you join me on, well, we're going to do a bit more seeding today. Now, if you can remember last time we were here together, that was actually about a week and a half ago for me. I went to bed that night, went to go start seeding again in the morning, and sure enough, it had been raining, and it rained for about couple days. So it's just finally getting dry enough for us to start thinking about getting back into the field. So let's go get that tractor warmed up and we can start working on that field we actually sprayed the other day. Now, before we can get that tractor out of the yard, it is parked beside the shop there. I've got to get the 7.3 out of the way. And on the 7.3, we have another thing we got to do today. Once we're finished seeding, well, we're going to have to spray the third field, which is just east of here, a little ways east. And then once that's done, the guy who I sold my that 6.7 Cummins, that red one that we customed out to, he told me he liked the way I did that truck so much. He bought himself a 7.3 and he was wondering if I would do a similar thing, fix up the paint, make it look nice, maybe custom it out a little bit. Then I told him, oh, for sure. So that's something we're going to start working on this episode. But first of all, we got to get this 7.3 out of the way. Now, those two fields that we're going to seed today, they're both going to be into canola. So we actually just ran out of seed as we were finishing that last field. So I have loaded this up with more seed and a little bit more fert. And once we get to the field, we'll load her up again and We'll do another seeding montage there. I thought that last one was pretty cool. Also, you might notice the audio is a little bit better here. I've gone out and got myself a little bit nicer of an old microphone, so it doesn't sound like I'm talking in a microwave. But that is what it is. Okay, so let's go and get this thing warmed up, and then I'm actually going to take the gator and get the sprayer because it's sitting in the field there. And we're going to need to work around that, so we'll just leave the gator there and then pick it up later, probably this evening. This little sliding door is super handy for having the gator here because you can just slide her open pretty easy. We can just hop in the gator and then we don't have to move anything. It's got its own little spot here. Alright, well, let's get out to where that sprayer is. It's not too far, as you can probably remember. It's just down the road here a little ways, so we'll make our way on over there. See, now we got a clear path through here for that seeder to go through, or the air drill, because before it would have clipped that, or I would have had to drive on the grass, and that's no good. We like to keep it looking half decent around the farm here. But yeah, you can see the sprayers right there, and as you can see, the field we seeded last time, it's actually started coming up already. That's how long we've been waiting for the ground to dry up to put our canola in. Yeah, and everyone has their opinions about when you should put your canola in compared to other crops, and I'm doing a little unorthodox this way, but we'll see if it pays off for us. It probably won't, but I figured I'd give it a swing. So let's go hop in that sprayer. Yeah, this thing did a really nice job for us the other day. So I'm pretty happy with the job it did. So we're going to be using it again today. No issues really. Just as you see in the time lapse, I didn't even have to stop and unplug any nozzles. I did put new nozzles in, so that I was really hoping I wouldn't have to. But yeah, we'll get the drill to the new field, get it unfolded, and I'm just gonna check hoses because we don't want to have. Well, we're gonna check hoses and check our runs because we don't want to have plugged runs or anything, and have look like a little bit of a silly goose with half a strip down the middle of the field every 75 feet or whatever. So we'll just leave this guy facing the sprayer truck here, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so it looks like the tractor's getting warm enough to start getting her moved out of here. So let's get on our forward flashers, and we'll make our way to the field there. Oh, you know what? We did a smart thing, I didn't even think of this. That we'll park the drill there, that'll keep warming up, and then take the gator back, and then we'll drive the Super Bee out there. See, occasionally, I think, just sometimes, not very often, but it does happen on the odd day. This drill did a nice work. I think that field should be done nicely. Like you can see it's come up already a little bit, and I'm not seeing any plugged runs, but I'm definitely going to double check before we start seeding the new field. Because you don't want to get halfway through a field and then, oh boy, didn't check your runs before, and then halfway through the year you start really looking like a silly goose. But let's pull onto the field here and start thinking about getting filled up. Okay, so this time I learned my lesson. You actually have to use the correct hydraulic. That's not it. That's the one. Look, yeah, see, it all helps if you click the right lever to do the right thing, right? So let's go grab that B train. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we were, for that last field we seeded, we were seeding it with some Cantera Durum, some specific variety. I'd have to go check my book to see which variety. But we were, yeah, it was some Cantera stuff. And for these last two fields, we're putting both of them into canola. So we're going to be using Clearfield canola. And hopefully that should work quite nicely for us. It's, yeah, it's one of those varieties that's like an anti-shatter. So I mean, we should not have to see too much crop loss there from that, and I'm hoping it'll withstand the elements pretty well, along with another couple benefits that come with those specific types of seeds. But yeah, I really should have started warming up the B train before I started moving around. But I think, well, it's a little bit chilly this morning. It's not the coldest day ever, but it's been warmer here for sure. Yeah, so I'm really hoping this Clearfield canola will do well for us. I did pay quite a bit for this specific variety, but I'm hoping they do. Well, they do say they almost guarantee that you will see significant. You'll see your money back. So as long as there's not like a drought or something, that you should see a significant yield increase. But I'm gonna let this thing warm up. We'll go to the field. Okay, so we're ready to go here, and yeah, should be pretty nice, easy drive out there. It always is. Yeah, loading canola, that'll be nice and easy. Everything, you know what's nice about working with canola is everything gets nice and oiled up when you're using it, because you know it's an oil seed. So when it gets crushed by something, like if it's going through an auger, it runs through there almost silently, because it crushes the oil seed and then it oils up the auger from the inside out. And it doesn't go bang, bang, bang like it usually does when you're using an auger. It's actually nice and quiet. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's think about getting pulled onto the field here. This is where we actually had the truck parked the other day. So what I'd like to do is pull this thing straight towards the auger. Push that auger in a little bit, and then it goes right in under the truck perfectly. So let's get her lined up. Okay, so we're nicely lined up for this one here now. I did learn my lesson now. I'm going to pull from this back hopper first. And we're going to start filling these. We should have enough. I think this back hopper will do us. That should just about do us for this field. And then the front hopper for the next field. So, we'll start getting her unloaded here, eh? There we go. It's starting to flow in there. Down up the top. Shouldn't take too long to fill, I don't think. And there we go. Looks like she's nicely filled up with seeds. Let's go check up the top, make sure she's right filled up. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're all ready to go here with the canola. Now I'll open these two hatches. We'll make sure we got enough fert here, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, now we're all lined up for fertilizer again, so let's start getting that in there. Okay, so that's starting to come down. Let's see how long that'll take to get up there. There we go. Okay. Once again, we are filled up with fert. Let's go check, make sure we're right filled to the top, because we don't want to be filling again this field. Yeah, looks like we're nicely filled up here. So I'm going to move the truck out of the way. Yes, see, we've got another hopper full of seed there. I'm going to probably need to grab more fert from home for the next field. But yeah, we're right filled up here, so I'll move the truck out of the way, move the auger out of the way, and make sure we get these hatches closed up, because, you know, you got to have them closed up nice if you want it to work properly. Okay. Let's go do that. So I'm pretty pumped to see how the canola will do out on these fields. It should produce nicely. The guy told me he always liked canola was his favorite because it produced marginally the best out of all the crops he tried on this land. So I'm excited to see just how much merit that statement has. But we'll park this on the grass, and we'll go and close up our chutes. Not our chutes, our lids. Okay, so all of our lids are nicely sealed up here. And they look like they've all been latched properly. So we should be good to go. And it looks like those latches are getting a little bit rusty. I don't know. I'm torn because I want to give this whole thing a repaint. But that's really expensive. I think I might just wait till it's time to get a new drill. And then, well, just sell this one off for cheaper. I don't think this thing is ever going to get repainted, It's not worth it. Doesn't pay. And for the next field, I'm going to try a little bit of extra fertilizer. So I'm going to be using the saddle tank, but not for this one. This one, I want to do a bit of a comparison, so we're not going to use the saddle tank right away. But I'm curious to see how big a difference it'll make. But yeah, everything's looking good. All of these gears in here are all greased up. I checked all our hose connections this morning. We'll get this thing unfolded, and we'll just do a double check of all the runs, and we'll start seeding here. Okay, so we're all unfolded. We're lined up. So we're just gonna have to set up the GPS. But let's just have a little peek around here. Make sure we're not going to have any plugged runs in this field, because we really don't want to look silly, especially on our first year of seeding. So I'll go have a peek here, and we'll just make sure all these are good, and then we'll start seeding here. Okay, so I checked our runs. They all look pretty good for me, so we've already got our GPS here loaded up. So let's get those fans fired on, and we'll get her lowered into the ground here. Oh, gotta check, make sure I'm using the right hydraulic. There we go. And set up our GPS. There, you heard it start. Now, oh wait, one sec. I gotta check one more thing. And we are good to go. Okay, so there we go. We'll pull ahead here a little bit. There we go. It's doing a perfect job of this. Nice little course nice little GPS course we have set up there. Pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm not gonna have too much to say in the cab here, so I'm gonna get that drone in the air, and we're just gonna start getting some nice footage again here. So let's see what you guys think. Okay, folks, welcome back into the cab with me here. How was your flight? Just kidding, I know it was wonderful, because that was a beautiful montage, of course. Now, this tractor window's getting pretty dirty. Almost needs a clean, but you know what? It's not worth doing. Let's get this thing folded up here and ready to go. So I think we will take we're going to take the B train back and leave the seed drill here. Let me just check how far my next field is from here. So actually, our next, we have 2 more fields to do. I just spoke with the old man. It's this field right here, and the other one is just across this valley here. So these 2 pieces are the 2 last ones that need to be seeded. So I'm not actually going to move this tractor out of the field. I'm going to leave it folded up right by the B train there. And then take the B train back, get those two sprayed up and ready to go. And then we'll seed them yet. And then we'll start talking about that 7.3 with that guy that I mentioned at the beginning of this episode. Okay, so I'm going to get that truck warmed down and this tractor cooled down, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so that truck's been running for a while, and the tractor's been cooling off for a while, so we can shut him off. And we can go hop in the truck. But yeah, we're just going to drive over this seeded part here. Should be fine. Just a little bit of extra compaction, never really hurt nobody. Well, it hurts everybody, but not that much. So we're going to be putting glyphosate down in those last two pieces as well. We're going to be seeding them at spraying them at 10 pounds or 10 gallons an acre. Should do a really nice job. I don't know if I'm going to montage those two. I think I'm just going to do them off camera because it takes a lot of time and it gets a bit repetitive. Seeding's always fun, but spraying, it'll get boring after a little while. So I'll grab that sprayer and I'll show you the first and last parts of each field, and you'll have to take my word for it that I actually did them. Okay, so I think we're just going to leave the B train parked in there. Now, I got to get the sprayer and this guy out there. You know what? I think I'm going to fill up in the yard here and then spray out and then just keep coming back to the yard instead of bringing the truck with me for this field, because that'll be a lot easier, I think. Okay, so we're all lined up to get filled up. Let's fill up that sprayer and get on our way out of here. Okay, so we got all filled up and we're making our way out to the field. It's not going to be too far, won't be too long. And we'll get that quickly done. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get the drone up in the air for such little short jobs because those fields aren't quite as big as the first two we've done. But I'll definitely time-lapse the seeding of those two fields. So, yeah, it's just this one right here, this piece here. So I'm going to unfold myself here. And we're going to get to spraying. And there we go. We're all wrapped up with spraying this here field. Let's get her all folded up here again. So yeah, like I said, we sprayed glyphosate on here at 10 gallons an acre, yeah. And that should help prevent a fair bit of weeds. It wasn't much on this field to begin with, but it doesn't hurt to get it a nice little coat first. So we'll get her folded up here and head to that other piece there. So for this piece, I think we're going to have to drive through that coulee there. Shouldn't be too bad. It seems pretty tame. I think with the tractors we'll go all the way around and the combines and such, but we got lots of ground clearance in this thing. I don't call it a high clearance sprayer for nothing. So we'll pick our route through here and we'll go nice and easy. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Takes a bit of power. It's a steep hill. We'll get her unfolded and we'll get this field sprayed. So I was just thinking here about that tractor that guy wanted us to, or not the tractor, that truck the guy wanted us to do for him. I have quite a few ideas. He tells me the truck's in a bit of rough shape, but he says he thinks, just judging by how bad the first truck was, that I can do a pretty nice job of it, and I tend to agree with him. I think we can do a pretty nice job. So we're gonna pick that up once we're done seeding these last two pieces, and we're gonna get that thing. I think this episode's gonna be recorded over the course of a couple days, and we'll get that thing nicely done up. But I'll catch up with you once we're done the field again. Okay, so this field's all glyphosated. We're just gonna finish folding her up here, and we're gonna get this thing back to the yard, and we're gonna keep seeding. Now, I want to have all of our seeding done today, so I think that's pretty reasonable, just because we just have these last two pieces. And then this evening, I'm going to pick up that truck. And over the next couple days, I think we're going to start working on it. And we're going to have it looking nice. I think I'll end this episode once we're done with that truck. So that'll take a couple days for me, but a cut for you guys. So we'll see you back at the yard. So those last two pieces are kind of one and the same with that first piece. We're going to be putting the same, I'm pretty sure it said Clearfield canola down on there. And that should work pretty nicely for us. So I think we're going to take the gator out there and definitely get some good drone footage of that shot. So far that drill's actually been working pretty nice for us, along with the sprayer as well. We're definitely, before we're going to start doing these last two pieces, check runs on it and everything, make sure we're still seeding everything, because we, like I said, don't want to look like a silly goose of sorts. But other than that, we're just going to be smooth sailing from here on out. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, so I've gotten everything checked out. We can lower this into the ground and we can start seeding here. We've got this little piece here seated. We'll get this thing folded up and we'll start making our way over to that last piece to do. And then I guess while we go to pick up that truck today, we've also got to get this thing washed off though, because I don't like parking equipment all messy for the year. But yeah, once we're done that piece, we can wash off the seed drill. Then we'll go park the drill. Then the tractor itself will get a wash after. And then I think I'll park it in the shop, give it a look, give it a once over, and then when we pick up that truck, then I'll pull it out of there, put it away. That way we have that shop to work on the truck. Perfect. Okay. Well, that's a good plan that I just came up with on the spot there. How about that? I'll catch you guys when I'm over there. So like I said in the sprayer earlier, I think we might have to take the long way around. Instead of going through the coulee, just it'll be less sketchy with this tractor. You know, we don't want to get it stuck anywhere. You know, it's the biggest tractor on the farm, and nothing compares to it in size. I would have to ask a neighbor for help to pull me up, and that's not really what I want the first year. So we're gonna play it safe and take this gravel here. But yeah, I think this is where we're gonna bring the semi. The B. Oh my goodness, this is really touchy. I forgot about that. Yeah, we're going to bring the B train right here to load it up, and then that'll do its own thing. But let's get this unfolded again, and we'll keep seeing. done. That concludes seeding of 2021, the first season that we are owning this farm. So let's get this drill fold up. And yeah, this tractor has just gotten filthy, eh? So we're going to bring it on back to the farm and wash everything. When I actually bought this drill, it wasn't clean. So we're going to see just how bad the paint is on the drill and on the cart there, because it wasn't good when I first bought the or at least the paint, I don't know, but it wasn't very clean. So we're going to see what it looks like cleaned up. Maybe you know what? Maybe that drill cleans up nice. All I know is it's not in the best shape. I've seen nicer drills, to say the least. So we'll get this thing back onto the farm and we'll get her washed up. Okay, so we're back at the farm, parked up here. Tractor's already off. I've already let it cool down. Now, I think we're going to have a bit of a cleaning montage. There we go, the drill's all shone up. How about the look of that? If you just compare it to how dirty that tractor is, look at how that drill looks cleaned up. I mean, you can see the paint imperfections a little bit easier, but all around that drill looks a lot better than it did when we started this spring. So I'll hop in the tractor here, and let's go get this drill parked up where we had it this spring. Now, I think we're going to have to move these two little whippersnappers here so we can get this drill turned around. The 7.3 is just going to get moved over to here for now. Should be good. Right there. And I think I'm just going to move the sprayer under the spout here just out of the way so we can start dealing with some other stuff around here. Okay, so we've got a path cleared. Let's mosey our way in between these two headers. You don't want to hit these. They're not cheap. And this is right where the drill is going to park, right on here. So I think we'll just turn around. This crop will easily bounce back from us driving over it here. It's still pretty darn young. So right where those tracks are, I just put is where we want to put our drill. So here should be perfect. Let's go have a look. Yeah, that looks good. We're not going to have our auger hanging into the field or anything, and we're not going to be in the way of where we drive here. So let's get these hydraulics taken out, and we'll get this thing unhooked. And there we go, we're disconnected from the drill. Now, it's time to go get this Steiger washed. Okay, I will just get her washed here real quick. You've already seen me wash this tractor once, so I'll just cut to when it's clean. And there we go, she's shiny like a diamond. Let's pull her on the shop here, so let's see. I think if we pull her straight, we should be good. Then we'll just be able to have a little look at everything. Make sure everything's all good here. Get this oil changed. And we'll do that this evening. First off, well, let's shut her down here. You know what? I'm going to just quickly have a once over on this tractor. And then we're going to go grab the flat deck, which is still hooked up to the... I think it's hooked up to the 2015 Dodger. So we'll see about that. Okay, so I just finished my inspection here. Just had to tighten up a few caps here and there, add a little bit of oil that we used in spring, and she's good to go. So we're just going to leave her in here for now. Get these doors closed up, and let's go get that Dodge. So it's just parked in here still, so we'll get these doors open. And we're just going to make our way out onto that farm. So the guy who actually bought the truck is actually the guy who I bought that sprayer from, if you can remember from the first episode. So he was apparently really pleased with it, so that's good to know. So we'll get to see, he didn't have his Ford there when he picked up the sprayer, unfortunately, so I didn't recognize the truck when it came in. So, well, it's a good thing we didn't rip him off when we sold him that truck, because he might not have been too inclined to do business with us again, but seems like he thought it was a fair enough deal, so let's make our way on over there. Okay, so here we are. I think I just saw it there. But yeah, he's got the Dodge here in the driveway. He's got her nice and cleaned up there, and there's the truck he picked pick that up from our place with. But let's get in a position here where we can get unloaded here. And I'll go inside and actually let's go check out the truck first. Yeah, okay, so this is the one I thought it was. So he's given me a bit of a list of what he wants from this thing. Obviously, he said he wanted a repaint, but he said he doesn't really like the stock color too much. He said he trusts my judgment, but he says he would like a nicer blue or an all white or a black and white sort of deal. So he's given me 3 ideas. He says he likes the rims and tires that are on there, and he says he liked what I did with the double diamond stacks, but he says he would like just some semi-stacks in here. So I'll see what I can do for him there. And he gave me a list of other stuff he would want on the phone. But I'm going to go inside, let him know we're here, and then we'll get this thing loaded up onto our trailer. Okay, so that went as expected. So he said the keys are in it, and we can get her loaded up here right away. Now, if I'm not wrong, this one should sound pretty darn similar to the one I have, right? Oh yeah, very similar. So he said we can just get her loaded right up. It's really tight the place he's got it in here, but he likes his Fords, he says. So, but he said he's a real big fan of that Dodge too, so he's a little torn. So he says he needs another runaround truck that's a Ford. Okay. That's might need some engine work. Having trouble getting up that hill there. Let's take another run at it. There we go. Perfect. She's up here pretty nicely. This is a pretty tall truck actually. It's got a bit of a lift by the looks of things. Let's get this thing strapped down and get ready to go. Okay, so we're ready to rock and roll here. She's all tied down. Truck's ready to go. And our ramps are up. So we'll avoid hitting this nice Dodge that we got for him here. And we'll go and we'll get this thing home. So we're getting pretty good at backing up this here trailer. I mean, we've been using it for a while, but the 40-footer some people seem to have issues with. But look at us just fly on back, fully confident. And let's get this thing home and let's get started to work on it. Oh, every time I pull with this truck, I'm just reminded how nice this truck is for pulling whatever you need. I would like to have it on that water truck, but I want to keep this truck nice, so we're not going to use it for that. And I also like using that 7.3 because I'm also a Ford guy, but I gotta admit, these Cummins pull nice. But let's get this thing unloaded and washed up and in the shop there. So, looks like we have a lot to do. Interior, exterior, we're gonna have a fair bit to do. He says he bought it with the guy that's already had the screen in it. So he says he likes the screen and that. But we're gonna take, like I said last time, my truck has those puke green lights. He said he would like them to be white as well. So I said we can definitely do that because, well, it's obviously possible because the guy did it with my truck. And we're going to put LED headlights in the front because it still has the stock halogens. And we're going to give it the exhaust and a new paint job and a nice little custom look. So let's get her washed up and ready to go. Okay, so she's all cleaned up here. We'll just pull her a little bit out of the way. Get that tractor out of there, and now that tractor needs to get put away for the year. It won't get used again until next spring, so we can put her right in the back of the shed with no worries at all. So first things first, we gotta get the 4640 out of here, because it's gonna go right in that back corner, and then we can see what we got for room. I want to get this 4640 right in front of it if I can, so I can fit both flat decks in here for the winter, but we'll see how that goes. Now I've got to remember to write down that this 4640 really needs a paint job. That'll be our next project. I think we'll do that in the next episode. See if we can't get a nice paint job on this. Because I like having my machinery look nice. Function is definitely more important, but now it looks a lot better. And you know what? It's more fun to operate machinery that you're proud of, I find. So let's get that thing pulled in there. Okay. Yeah, this tractor, I'm a real big fan of this tractor. We did a nice job, I think, with the paint when we redid it here. So, it looks really nice, but let's get her back right as far as I can into that corner as possible, because we have a lot of machinery and not much shop space. I think next winter we're going to be putting up a newer shop, or another one, so we can get our drill inside. But that's, well, I'll have to see if I can find someone who will build me that. because that is a big ask to be able to put your drill inside, especially around here. Most guys just leave them outside, so not too many people will make one that big. But let's see what we think of this park job. Well, I'd say we're nice and tight to the corner there. And right on the back here, we're pretty close as well. So I think we're going to call that pretty good. Okay, now we got to get the 4640 back in there with the cart. Like I said, I wanted to get this beside, or right directly in front if possible. But we'll see if there's enough room in this shop to actually allow us to do that. And have a look at that. If we had more room on the front, I could back that in there one shot, but park. I think we'll actually have to unhook from the grain cart and then park beside that tractor. Okay, so we meandered the cart in here. Let's get this unhooked, and then I'll back in beside there, and we'll see if we can't get the sprayer trailer in here. Or I think we'll see if we'll put the sprayer inside first, because we're gonna have some more work to do with that, and then keep trucks outside rather than equipment. There we are. She should just fit in here just perfect. Yeah, you betcha. Look at that. Almost like we measured first. So we'll get this thing shut off, and we'll see if we can't fit the sprayer in here too. Now I think that sprayer should fit in there pretty perfect. So we'll just mosey on in here. And I think for winter we'll pack stuff a little tighter, but I think for now this is all we're going to have in here. Don't really need to pack it much tighter than this, unless we want to put a half-ton in here or something. We'll see. This guy's going to go into our shop now, and then we'll start meandering some trucks around and see if we can't get stuff inside for today. So for this trailer, I think I'm going to have it right here. I'll show you where I want to put it. If I can back it in right here, I have this entrance here, but it never gets used because this is kind of right alongside this tractor here. So I think we'll just back this into here so it's nicely out of the way. And the other flat deck I think will get put beside the house. Okay, that looks like a perfect spot to me. Finally got her in there. Took a couple backing up and moving forward, you know. But let's get her unhooked here, and we'll pull her into the shop now. Okay, I think we'll just see if we can't pull two trucks in here. So I'll pull it right here. That's nice and tight, and we'll see. Let's have a look. I think if we're going to want to... Actually, we don't need to fit another truck in here. That should be fine, because we've got garage space for the other two. We could honestly put this truck inside, but it doesn't really deserve to be sitting in the house garage, if you know what I mean. Okay, so we'll get those doors shut, and we'll put this Dodge inside the garage for today. Now this truck has slightly better sight lines, so you can actually see what you're doing, which is nice. You don't have to lean forward so far. So we'll get him backed right along this gravel here. Okay, that looks like a good spot to me. We'll get this unhooked and get her in the garage there. Okay, we can still get by here, so that's just perfect. Don't think we're going to back this one in today. We got too much to do with that new truck. So, yeah, we're going to get working on that. So, with that truck that we're helping that guy out with, that's going to take me a couple days. So I'm going to do something similar to what I did with the first truck and just cut to the next day or so. And we'll see what you guys think of it, and then we'll deliver that back to his place, and I think we'll just have to call her a day then. Okay, so it's been a couple days for me and probably a snap of the finger for you, but I now have this truck all done. Now I've done quite a bit to it, but I'm going to leave you in suspense now. And we're just going to go... Actually, you know, I'm not going to leave you in suspense. I'm a nice guy. So, tell me what you think of this here rig. Would you just look at that? Now, he said he was looking at a bit of a blue color. And I always like a little bit more like... You know, every truck and vehicle on the road nowadays is kind of black, white, or gray. So I wanted to give him a nice, unique looking truck. We got the stacks on here. I found a nice toolbox for cheap. Left the wheels and tires, like he said. Even gave him a nice custom plate I found on Gigi. Some newer mud flaps. Found some replacement mirrors because his has been busted off. Yeah, it's all around looking pretty nice, but on the inside is where you might notice an even bigger difference. Well, that might have been a bit of an overstatement. You won't see too big a difference, but have a listen to this with those stacks. Sounds pretty sweet. I gave it a bit of a tune, so it's got more power now. And, like he said, all these lights are now a nice white color. They're not the puke green that came with this truck. So I think he's really going to appreciate the changes we've done here. Well, to see if that's true, I'm actually just going to drive this one over. I'm not going to haul it over with the flat deck because it's working well now. It's in good condition. I'm actually going to deliver it over to him, see what he thinks. And as a favor, hopefully, I'll get him to drop me off at the Gator so I can get that parked up for tonight. And we'll get that nicely wrapped up. So on top of all of the physical modifications, I also changed out the steering rack so it drives a lot straighter now. Yeah, like I said, I tuned the engine, did a bit of repair on it, new injectors on it, you know, just the works, right? The whole 9 yards. Took me quite a couple days. That aftermarket deck, he said he liked it, so I didn't do much to it. I just I replaced it with one that looked similar, just because I figured he would appreciate that. Because you know what, if you're spending this much on a truck getting it to look nice, you may as well make everything else function nicely. So I've also got new speakers put in everywhere, the whole works, all four corners, and I wired up a sub for them. Really nice job there. All the lights around, like the front headlights, they have been replaced with LEDs. So this truck is actually going to work really well for him. But here's his farm right here. So let's see what he goes and thinks of it. Well, he seemed to like it enough to park it next to his nice truck, and he said he'd be more than happy to give me a ride out. So he said he'd take me for a ride in the old Dodger just for old time's sake. So he'll drive me out to the Gator and we'll get that back home and see what we figure. Okay, so he was nice enough to drop me back off at the Gator, and I was just sitting here having a look at all the work we got done today, and I'm pretty proud of it all. We have done a whole lot today. So let's get this thing fired up and get ourselves back to the yard because I'm tired. Well, today not so much, but I mean this episode. We did a lot this episode. So this Gator's actually been sitting out in the field about a week, so she'll be happy to be back in her shop where she belongs. But other than that, there's not much left to do yet today. Yeah, in this episode we seeded 3 of our fields. Well, it's kind of one field split into 3 parts. We sprayed those 2 separate parts that got missed in the first round. We cleaned the drill. We cleaned the big tractor. We got everything all figured. Just everything's put away. Just the Super Bee is still sitting there, but that'll get dealt with tomorrow. I don't feel like doing that today, so we'll just pull this in here. Don't want to hit that truck. There we go. Nice and tight up to it. So we'll get the door closed and we'll start closing her out here. Well, wasn't that a productive episode? We've got all of our seeding 2021 is done. Our pre-seed burn-off also got all done today. We got that, not today, this episode. We got that truck all finished. We picked up that truck in this episode, worked on it for a couple days, and got it back to him. He was very impressed. We have all the equipment back at home. So I think instead of just sitting on my couch like I usually do to end the episode, I'm just gonna go sit on the porch, enjoy a cup of coffee. So you guys probably don't want to see me have my beverage here all evening. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, which I'm sure you did if you're listening to me now. We'll probably have another episode sometime in my lifetime, and you have yourself a very wonderful evening.